get a stream and you get a stream. Hey, welcome everyone. It's John the Net Guy. Thanks for bearing with me while I got everything going. I'm going to get the show going up on Amazon. We've got a packed show tonight, and I got to do it in 1 hour and 38 minutes of transcoding time I have available with my account here, apparently. So here we go, going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Amazon shopper. It is John the Net Guy. Got a packed show tonight. Lots of really cool products. Some of these products I bought myself just because they were that cool. Some of them were sent to me, and I'll let you know which ones those were. I want to thank the brands that sent products out. That makes it a much easier show to do, and it gives them a little exposure for products that you may or may not have thought about purchasing. I've got a few Christmas gifts in here, so knock on wood, I hope none of my kids are watching. Showing you a few of those. I see Jeremy's in here. Welcome, Jeremy. Good to see you already. Some fans of the show. Let me know how my audio is doing if you could. Sometimes it comes across great, sometimes not. I don't know how to pronounce your name. She XAI. Very nice to meet you. You're probably one of my many new followers. Thank you guys who have joined and are starting to watch me on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, all the places that I'm going at. We're going to kick it off because I have a product to unbox today that I purchased myself. I've had it over a year on the shelf. I've been so busy and I really wanted to try it out. It's actually going to be for my daughter. These are some of the other products, but I am going to put those out of the way here. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And our first product up is, it's kind of a throwback for me. It's one of those products that we all had when we were kids, but they discontinued it. And that is from Kodak. So our first product is from Kodak, and this is going to be their instant camera. So if you've ever had the Polaroid camera, I can't tell you how many times we went to restaurants for birthdays and we got Polaroids. This is the new thing, and I've got this for my daughter. I'm very excited. So here we go. Awesome. We're opening it up. I'm going to switch over to the many different camera angles that we have here so you can see what's going on. So there you go. There's the bottom. You're going to get a charging cable. You're going to get a very skinny instruction book on this one. I'm actually going to bring you guys side by side for this so you can see them both. So you get a very little instruction book. You're going to get these zinc papers, Z-I-N-K, zinc. I'm going to call it zinc, even though it's with a K. And I open this from the bottom, so all this stuff falls out, and there is the camera itself. Now I'm going to take you guys over here on the side camera, so hopefully you guys can see how small this thing is. Now this has got a couple cool things. One, it's going to use that zinc paper. Now the zinc paper is going to cost you some, so that's going to come with a sample pack here, which we're going to load and learn all about. But let's say your kid wants to take more pictures. Maybe they want to grow with this camera. Also has a micro SD slot right here on the bottom. So they can actually put in a micro SD and start working that route. Very cool. Hey, I see another friend of the show. Oh, this is awesome. Coalition Chris, thank you for joining my stream, my friend. Did an IT team white elephant. Those are dangerous white elephants with IT teams. Had a Bluetooth speaker, beanie, and PCB coasters. Neat little tech gifts too. That's awesome. Great ideas for some tech there from Chris. So this one is from Kodak. So a trusted name in all things imaging. One of my first digital cameras was Kodak. So this is a digital instant camera. Now, the neat thing about this is you're going to load it up, and I'm going to get to the top-down camera if I do things right. I want to show you guys how we're doing this. So you're going to load the paper in here, this zinc paper, they call it. We're going to open it up. And the first sheet on this paper, it says, this blue sheet is the color calibrating sheet. So I'm guessing every one of these mediums is slightly different. So there's the color calibrating sheet. That one has to be facing down. So this is my first time doing this too. I am going to be trying this out. So we're going to load this up this way. And then we're going to put this back on. And we're going to see how this thing does. This is not only a camera, a digital camera, but it's also a printer. So this thing is going to print our photos. And I was thinking the elf on the shelf needs to do a couple selfies for my daughter. So let me know if you guys have an elf on the shelf where you're at. I'm just taking a quick look here. I think I've powered it on. There it goes. So power button, just to show you real quick here. It beeped a couple times. It's blinking. Appears to be ready. Now, this one does have an included flash, so you're going to be able to take some night pictures. It's completely automatic. Honestly, I'm looking. There's only two buttons on this thing: power and shutter. So, would be nice if I had on some of their older models. They actually had a little mirror here, so if you're doing a selfie, you can do that. Do I have my logo behind me? Let's try a selfie over here. Now, I was able to take that picture. It beeped twice, so hopefully not when I moved. No flash on this. We're going to set this to the side, and it is supposed to be processing that picture right now. So we'll see how it does. Jonathan Talks Hardware, man. I'm sorry I was a couple minutes late. Good to see you here. He says, hey to you, my friend. Hope you're having a great time. This thing is already printing. That's going to hopefully be ejecting that first card out here. So I can hear it. You can see it there. Hear it doing something. Hopefully it is getting ready to print. Oh, there it comes out. So there's our calibration sheet. That's the first one coming out. Nice. Oh, Jonathan, that's such a downer, man. Sorry to hear that. My dog passed away last night, he said, sadly. Yeah, that's no good. How long is that dog in your family, my friend? That's always good to know. That. Oh, lots of people checking in here. It's a Thursday. Yes, it is on Restream. Okay, so I've got this card out. That was our calibration card. It's already started to move on to the printing phase. So I'm kind of excited about this. If you're just joining right now, I should do my job here and go into the Amazon app. One, I got to welcome everybody. And I got to say, hey, everyone. We just did an unbox and I took my first selfie. Okay. Are you guys ready to see this? We're going to go up close on this one. It printed it out that fast. There you go. So now we know what we did wrong. Hopefully you guys can pick it out in the chat what I did wrong there. It had two beeps. It had one beep that said it was taking the picture, and it had another beep when I was apparently supposed to stay still. So I'm going to do that shutter press again, but I'm going to stay really still. And that did both of them that way. So I'm going to do my best shot. So took the picture. Let's talk through this. 5, 6, 7. It's already printing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's the Trunk Vision version. Hey, we're on Amazon, man. Keep it family friendly here. But yeah, that was the beer goggles version of the Net Guy. And this one is already printing it out. I'll show you guys as it comes out. See if we got our focus a little bit better. Now, remember, I did this completely blind because it doesn't have a mirror, but it's printing out a 2-inch by 3-inch, a perfect size. Look at that. And there is my little mini selfie picture. So imagine for a kid being able to create their art here. They can go out with their friends. They can finally take some pictures that are their own. This is going to go to my 7-year-old daughter. Right now, it is on sale. It is $79.99 normally. It's $30 off, so 38%. It's $49.99. How do you find where all these are at? Well, let me finally put my URL along the bottom here. So if you're going to take a look at the URL, it should be scrolling when I hit this button the right way. I hit show. That URL, amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. Full disclosure, I get a single-digit commission, and we're talking low single-digit commission on all these things. If you do go to that website, you're going to see something that, hold on one second, that looks an awful lot like this. And that is me there live doing this show for you. If you scroll down and you go to last minute gifts, show 19, you're going to get this page. And what's nice about that is you're going to get to see, now see, I put the overlay wrong. I got to go to this one. Should I be in this corner? Maybe I'll be in this corner. So yeah, so you're going to get to see all of the products. You're going to get to see this Kodak one. Now, don't trust the delivery dates on these because I'm not logged in. I do that on purpose so you don't get to see my orders and history and prices and all that. But you can see it's $49. It may be available for pre-Christmas shipping depending on where you're at. So if you want this, take a look. It's in the carousel right now if you're on the Amazon app and watching me. If not, it's going to be in the video description. So I love it. Chuck's getting himself in trouble. He says, I'm supposed to be watching a Christmas movie with my wife. Hope she doesn't notice I'm watching your live stream. Nice to see you, Chuck. Thank you so much for that support. Gotta love that. Chuck's one of our big fans of the show. And so we're going to bring it back here. We're going to go on to our next product. Let me know if you have any more questions about this. Right here. This is the little picture. I'm going to save this thing. Now, I don't know if these are actually sticky back. That would be awesome because then I could totally stick them in here when I have guests. I had Nerd on the Budget the other day. Um, so I would love to get a little guest collage wall. So this could be used for a lot of really cool things. And that is from the Kodak company. I'm going to keep it together so I can give that to my daughter Christmas morning. She's going to get to open that up. It's already ready to go, minus 2 pictures. And I did purchase some extra paper for her for the one that we just used up. Now, the interesting thing is when she does run out of paper, this immediately switches over to be a digital camera, and she can use the micro SD slot to store her pictures. So she doesn't have to print them out and waste that paper if she doesn't want to. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a way to control it printing when it runs out of the paper. So there is always that. We're going to go on to the next product. Now, this one is for my son. This is going to be really exciting. If you've ever considered electronics, or, maybe you've said, oh, that's not for me, I'm worried about blowing something up, this next one is for you too as an adult. This is from Elenco. This is a Snap Circuit 21 project circuit beginner kit. Now let's go on the top down camera so you guys can see what's there. So that's what it looks like. It is a very simple design, but man, you can do so much with this. I'm really excited to show you inside this one. So we're going to do a quick unbox for you. I'm going to put myself in that corner. There we go. So I'm going to do a quick unbox here and you'll get to see what's in it. It's a very simple and easy kit. My son Maverick is 5 years old now, and that kid can destroy and take apart anything. He started to now take apart his toys, and I can't wait to give him this because he's going to get to put them together. Now, unfortunately, they don't include batteries, but I guess that, one, it keeps the cost down, and 2, you can decide if you want to use different kinds of batteries. In this case, I'm going to pick 3 regular batteries from my Battery Daddy. I always recommend these battery cases. We're going to be using a lot of batteries tonight. So what it has is this frame, and that's the neat, unique part about this, is this frame can help you put together your circuit even if you have no experience. Oh, this is an update that they've done. They've actually encased the batteries. So my kid is notorious for taking batteries out of things. This is going to be even better. So you do need a tool now. So we're going to undo this. We're going to take out the battery cover. We're going to install the batteries, and this is going to keep him from taking them out or putting them in backwards or playing in an area that he's not supposed to. Now, I think the adult kit or the older kid kit doesn't have this protection, but I can't wait. This is going to be great. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go through and do the first circuit together. This is going to be really good. Let me see. We have another friend of the show. He's just making sure he's caught up here. Look at this. Was walking my goldfish. What did I miss? That's Pinky Tech. Yeah, we let him in every once in a while on the show. But I wanted to show you all of the parts here. It says contains over 12 parts. So yes, that must mean 13, as they're asking in the chat already. It takes electronics and it breaks them down to a pictographic diagram-based approach, which for a beginning person who's never done electronics before, this is going to be great because my son, he can actually do Legos incredibly well. So all you got to do when you want to start this is you literally place and snap down the circuit. So in this case, this is Snap Circuits, what we're looking at now. I'm just going to line my camera up because I got to use this footage later. So I'm going to do that and line my camera up. So we're going to put the battery down here, and that's part of that name, Snap Circuits. It's going to snap to this grid. Now they're numbered and lettered. So if he actually needs to look at this a little bit closer, let me show you guys that closer. There's the diagram, and there's how we're going to put it together. He does Legos great. He tends to skip a couple steps. So it's saying we want to use switch number 1. That's this switch right here. So it keeps all of your items inventoried. Now, step 1 is also going to use one of these 3 position connectors, and that's just, again, to complete your circuit. So I'm going to follow their instructions. Step 1 is the battery in this. Step 2 is the light up motor. Now, this is cool because it has a positive indicated side here. That's right here, and it wants us to put that up to the positive side. And then we have this inline switch, which I'm going to put here. And in 3, 2, 1, we're going to test if it posts. We're going to turn it on, and look at that. That is awesome. Mav is going to have an awesome time with this. So if you're just checking it out, look at that. We built our first snap circuit. That is awesome. And it's a controlled light. Now I can turn it on and off with this switch. Now, this whole kit right here is available for less than 20 bucks. So if you're looking something that's not only affordable, but something that's going to be very interesting and reusable, that was just one of the 21 projects that it has. Come with me. We're going to take a look at some of the other ones. Okay, so I'm going to go side by side here. The next page on this, I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see it, is project number 2. And guess what? By just changing a little bit of the circuit and the instructions, you can see how you can change this up. So I'm going to take the motor, I'm going to flip it around the other way. And now, no light, but this is blowing a nice cool breeze on me. So take you back over to the side camera here. So now it just becomes a fan. And that's what they're showing you. So there's talking about polarity and then LED lights and motors and all that. This skips all over the complexities of that. This is just telling you that if you put the motor in this way, you're going to get the lights and the fan is going to blow downwards, as you can see. And project number 2 says if you flip it around the other way, you're going to get a fan and you can blow things around. So that's kind of cool. That's the difference on those two. Let's go to the third project real quick here. Okay, third project is kind of neat. We're going to put the motor away and we're going to grab out, same circuit, we're going to grab out the lamp. Now, let's see, where's the lamp one here? It says L4. So this is lamp 4, not an LED. So very simply, we're just going to put it in place and we're going to turn the switch and look at that. So we got a light. So just taking a quick closer look at that. So that's L4. So we've basically made 3 different mini circuits here. Now I'm going to take you guys along a little bit closer. We'll get to the more advanced stuff. You have both light and motors and LEDs. So it's going to get you all the way to where you can start to integrate all of these features. Additionally, if you've got the little LEDs, which I'm going to use next here, this is a 2-direction bicolor LED here. So you've got that little red LED. It doesn't show very well. Well, they include this little egg so you can see it turn on and off. So this kind of a little lens. So that's another of the included parts in it. If you put this one in backwards, and again, it simplifies. You don't have to have a resistor in line. They've made it all really easy. You really can't blow it up unless you try really hard. But there you go. So now I have a little yellow light in here. So you've got a bidirectional, bicolor light there. So that is from Snap Circuits. This is, again, very, very exciting for me because I know I'm going to get to play this with him, and he's going to have a ton of fun Christmas morning opening this up. I bet you he goes through all 21 circuits. He's 5 years old. He's never done electronics before. I bet you they're done in at least an hour. He'll have all of them. He goes so fast through things. He picks up things so quickly. I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced. If you possibly have older kids, we're going to talk about a newer one. Pinky says, challenge accepted. I think he's ready to do some circuits here. If you are looking at the carousel or down in the description, this is the SCB, the Snap Circuits Beginner 20. It is available right now for $32.99 plus $13 off. It should get there by Christmas, but let's go take a look real quick. I'm going to go back to our other page. So again, if you were following along, back on my Amazon show page, just getting that out of the way. We'll go back up here. This is the Snap Circuits Beginner. It's this one right here. And it is available. Now, again, you'd have to check your shipping because it ships out of different warehouses to see if this is going to get there before Christmas. But this is $19.99. 4.8 out of 5 on 3,000 plus ratings. So very, very popular, very good foundational primer. Now this one's interesting because it has been popping in and out of stock. This is the next one that I'm going to show you guys. If you're comparing, this one is the big daddy. So if the other one was the primer or the just starting out, this Snap Circuits is the 300 circuit variety. You can make just about anything with this. You can make a radio, you can make buzzers, you can make motion detectors, you can do all sorts of craziness. This has a slider, so a sliding potentiometer essentially. So you're going to be able to go through and do a lot more. I'm going to take you guys through a quick tour of this one just so you can see what's in it. But we won't build too much of this. This is the next stage, and we are a homeschooling family. I can tell you, I originally bought this for our older teenager, and so a teenage daughter. I wanted to get a snap circuit like this one for her because we don't have an electronics curriculum with our co-ops, and so I wanted to get her some basic foundational knowledge. I knew that this one was going to start out pretty basic as well, but I wanted to give her much more capability. So you can see already this has a ton more parts, but the concept remains the same, right? So throughout all of this, you're going to have battery connectors here. Now, what's funny about this is they're 3-volt batteries. So you've got 2 sets of AA's. That's 3 volts, 6 volts if you combine them. It's going to have this propeller fan because they actually have a circuit in here, which we may or may not make. That's kind of cool. So you can take your snap circuit out there. Why don't I do this? I'll show you. You can actually expand the kit. So if you have the beginner kit, these things do line up and they should link. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make just a real basic circuit here so we can see this one, because this is one of my fun ones here. Where's the motor is what I was looking for. There's the music. Here it is. So it's got a linear motor, it looks like. So this is one that I always thought was really fun. And we'll just build it out of the circuits. This is a push button switch. So I'm going to bring that over here, put that there, and then I'm going to use one of the 3 links. So this one has a ton of different size links now. The old one only had the triple link, right? Now, as I put this together, I can quickly test it by just touching the switch. And when I do that, you'll see that this little item moves here, right? And it's actually going to move. If I do it this way, I'll show you. So it's spinning this little fan around, right? Well, I got to go out to the other camera for you guys to see this because this is so much fun. I wanted to show you this before because I have different ones. If I change the polarity by switching the motor around, that's one way. If I flip this motor around and then see, I should have it down here so you guys can see it. So if I switch that motor around, go like that, put this on here. Now, when I hit this switch, it's going to do something very unique. I wish I could have both camera angles up for you. And actually, maybe I can. Give me 1 second. That is going to be camera 5 that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and pull both cameras up for you right now so you can see both at the same time what this is going to do. I'm going to hit the button, and we're taking a look at down here the snap circuit. It went up to the ceiling. It is literally on the ceiling. So it flew that little piece out there. You can see that fly up, and it only does it when you let go. So it's kind of cool. So the tension keeps it on, and it just flew over there onto the other side of the studio. So my toy just broke itself. No, I'll go pick that up after the show. But that's just one of the cool advanced circuits that you can start to get now in the newer snap circuits. So this one has that push button actuator we talked about. There's buzzers, there's light sensors. So now you're starting to get in the concept of circuits that have a little bit more going on. You're going to have more power to work with here, so you can actually make that motor go a little better. And like I said, if you have the snap circuit beginner kit like I just showed here that I'm giving Maverick, when you go to the next level up here like this one, you can actually expand with the same pieces, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out just the projects here so you guys can see this project list, and we'll talk about what kind of projects you can do before we go on to our next one. Okay, so this is the project view here, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up because he's not going to know. Very large manual. You've got projects and you've got experiments. So experiments 1 to 101 in this side. And again, that pictographic project, Space War music combo, Quiet Zone game. That's kind of cool. Flashing laser light with sound, Space War flicker, spinning rings. So it has a light ring capability that you can do. So again, all sorts of really cool stuff in the experiment side. Project side is going to get a little bit more complicated. This is where you can do an amplifier. Now we're talking about transistors and amplifying transistors. There's a fan in this one. musical motion detector, a doorbell. I sent one of these off to my nephew a couple of years ago, and he actually built a doorbell and a motion sensor for his room, so he knew when the parents were coming in. So some great ideas to start out with in this kit. And that again is from Snap Circuits. This is their 300 project set. If we come back over to Amazon, you can see here great reviews on this one. This one has over 5,400 reviews and a 4.8 star average. Definitely log in to see if it's available for you on Amazon.com. So we're going to come back over to the show. We're going to get cleaned up and we're going to go back onto the next product, which actually is kind of neat. And it's almost a family gift, I would say, or maybe for that prepper in your family. My wife's kind of the prepper of our family. And this one was sent out by the brand for a fair and honest review. And this is a solar emergency radio and charging system. So you can see here, I'll bring it up on the top down for you. So very simple design. We're going to do an unbox and I'll show you what's in it real quick. Now, I have actually, in all honesty, unboxed this earlier and played with it, and I was super impressed. Only a couple different items in it. It's very well contained. It does have good instructions, and there is a charger in it as well, which I left in the box. So it does charge, and it charges with USB Type-C. So it comes with the USB Type-C charging cable, so all you Android folks can celebrate. The instructions are super simple, but that's because you didn't need a lot for this product. I'll tell you why. Let me get it up, make sure I'm up on Amazon so I can answer any questions. And this, again, is a 2023 product. Hello. Just checking the radio now. By the way, if you guys do, any of you purchase items on the show today, like I said, I get a single-digit commission. Also, if you subscribe or, it's your first time following on Amazon, you're going to get the bell. And it's going to wake everybody in the house up. So thank you guys so much. If you do purchase, let me know in the chat and I will give you a ring of the bell. So here we go. We're taking a look at this solar crank radio. I'm going to bring you down to the top down so we can look at it a little bit closer. Very simply put, having some sort of communication device to hear emergency broadcasts is almost a must-have in every household. This one, whenever you go to use your, charging devices or whatever, and they've run out of juice, this one has a built-in battery, but it has a cranking system, so you can actually never have to worry about being out of batteries. It has a weather radio, which is AM.
Overnight hours. The next front will move through on Friday for low and rain and mountain snow.
That's very nice to have. I can tell you, I spent a lot of time on my boat this summer. I was listening to the NOAA weather radio to see what the fishing was going to be like. So now that's the weather band on it. If I go over to FM here, let's see if we can find some Taylor Swift. So that's a local FM broadcast station. So I can pick that up. You can switch it over to AM. So we got all three bands here. Okay. That's awesome. So I'm listening to music on AM. So it has all those capabilities. Got a ton more capabilities I want to show you about here. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you can see the impact of this. But one is just a very simple light. I can't tell you how important it is to have a light. If we read through here, I'm just reading through the basics on it. It tells you all of the different features and the capabilities. But it says here, you turn the hand crank clockwise or counterclockwise, left or right-handed, at 130 to 140 RPM is the best speed to do it at. That's roughly 2 turns per second. But then you can also charge it with the solar here, or at least keep it topped off. It's a very tiny solar strip, but it will keep it topped off. But it said something here, if you crank this for 2 minutes, you get 15 to 20 minutes of light output from this. So let me show you what that looks like here. So there's the light that I'm using. There's a little antenna on it. So it can be used as an emergency light. That's one kind of light. You can slide this back and you can hook or hang this on something. Now that's really cool. But also it has a second light up here. So I have the main light on, but now I have the second light panel. And so that's part of the emergency nature of this thing, is being able to, if I'm working on my boat motor and it's out there and it's at night, I can just simply set this down and I can angle the light wherever I need it. So that makes it really good. Now, again, there's no batteries to replace in this. It's all built in. But if I do need to give it a little bit more charge, you can actually crank this handle. Hopefully you can hear that. So I can crank this handle, and 2 minutes of cranking gives me 15 minutes of more light. Now you can also charge your cell phones from this. So look at that. They've actually included both the A and the USB Type-C. Now, instead of cranking this to keep it all charged up, you can actually plug in, and that's how I charge it up initially. It has a headphone port as well if you don't want to disturb anybody and just want to listen to a radio. The radios are so hard to find these days that this has an AM, FM, and a weather band radio in here. So NOAA, wherever you get NOAA weather radio in the United States. So that's available. Let me show you the front of it real quick, and then we're going to go check the Amazon page and see the current price on this emergency radio. It's going to shock you how affordable this thing actually is for all the features that you get. So I kind of went through the basic features. I want to double check that I didn't miss anything. We talked about the reading lamp capability, the solar panel, the speaker, frequency scale indicator, DC charging indicator, the 5 volts in and out. So it does have USB-C charging. So I could basically take this, plug it in here, and now I can charge my earbuds. I can charge my iPhone 15 because it's, again, USB-C, or I can use my other cables and I can charge my other devices. But we're going to go over here to the Amazon page, and we're going to take a look and see what we've got on Amazon. This is a newer product, so not a lot of information about it, but let's take a look. So it's got 270 reviews so far, 4.5 stars. It is showing an iPhone there being charged, which is great. There's some of the LED flashlights. The flashlight is good. And this finally gives me the total battery power, which is actually 4,000 milliamp hours. So that's 4 amp hour battery. That's a pretty decent capacity. I think that's more than 3 or 4 AA's worth of capacity in there. And it's rechargeable via solar as well as the hand crank and wall. So you have lots of different options. It's just talking about the different frequencies. So it's going to work in the US mainly, but the frequency selector is not digital. So it's going to let you move it left and right. So that's going to work out really well. Let's go back over here and I'll show you. It is available for 20% off right now. There's also another 5% off if you purchase a bundle of these things. Now, this one for me was also showing fastest overnight delivery with Prime is going to be on December 23rd. So you still can get one of these. Maybe this becomes a household gift. So I want to thank them for sending this out for a fair and honest review. I've been playing with it for a couple hours now, and now I have an FM radio. How many people can say they still have an FM portable radio? I know we've got all of the internet nowadays, but something like this is simple, easy to use, kind of fun. So that is the next product that was on our show. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, there's one feature. I gotta have my editor splice this in because it's really interesting. If you're in an emergency, maybe you need to attract attention. Maybe you can't yell or you're tired of yelling. You can take, and there's a button on this. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. There's the side SOS button. Now, headphone warning, I'm not going to silence it for a couple seconds. I'll let it play. But here we go. I'm holding it down. That will get attention. Now, I have noise canceling and some other stuff on the microphone, so that may have sounded really weird, but it is very, very loud. So it does have a very loud siren in here to attract attention, and that can be really useful when you need it. So thank those guys for sending that out for a fair and honest review. I'm going to pull up the product page here on Amazon because I want to go to the next one. Oh, sold ×2. So cool. So we get one and we get another. Thank you, Chuck, on the Amazon for purchasing that. He got 2 of those. That's going to make a great stocking stuffer because it's just the right size for a stocking. Awesome. Very good to see that somebody found value here in the show. I love it. And Pinky Sex says he doesn't have a radio anymore. So this gives you that FM AM radio and a weather band radio in case of an emergency. So there you go. And an emergency cell phone charger for around $20, which is pretty slick. Jeremy comes in and says, the only radio I have is in my car. Yeah, and if you keep that radio on in your car, maybe you're trying to conserve battery or whatever, that's going to be draining your car battery because you got to keep the accessories on for that. It's a cool idea to have something else in the glove box. I can tell you the other day we were out, my wife and I, and her phone was almost completely dead. I was taking the other car going somewhere else, and she had to stay there a couple more hours. I happen to have a battery bank that we leave in the other car that I've shown you before on the show. This thing's just as good because it'll be charged up and it has 4 amp hours. Sorry, 4 amp hours or 4,000 milliamp hours. So it's about half the size of a 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank. So it's going to give you probably maybe a half charge on an iPhone from full, which is pretty good. That's enough to get you by in most cases. So very cool. We're going to pull up the next product. Now it's a product I've had on the show before, but they've asked if they can come back on because it's the holidays. And I said, absolutely. This is the lightest and most affordable of power solar generators. Now, solar generator is kind of a loaded term. This is from Bolibot. They've been on the show before. I've got them out on the carousel right now. I'm going to go to their Amazon page just because that's going to have better pictures, but I'll show you a couple use cases of where I used this fairly successfully. So I'll go in here. Every house should have backup power, whatever you've got, just to be able to recharge your iPhones. We talked about the other one here being 4,000 milliamp hours or 4 amp hours. This thing's 257 kilowatt hours. So it's going to have a ton more power available to it here. This one is available right now for $179, down from the $259 price. And if you look at Jackery and other brands that I've shown on the show before, they're very nice, but they charge a very premium price. So this one fairly simplistic on the LCD. The LCD display is not going to be, super featured like the other ones. It's not going to have a ton of different inputs. So the inputs on this are limited to the DC jack, and they don't include a car charger, which would be something I would like to see on this. If they can throw a car charger, if you have any sort of 12 volt to 1.2 millimeter barrel jack, that will charge this as well in the car. Let me bring you guys on the top down here just so you can see the features of the front of this, and then I'll show you a really cool use case of what I use it in. So to turn it on and off is just real simple. You hit that power button. I just happen to have charged it completely full, and so you can see it's a very basic LCD, and I can finally take off I didn't take off the whole display sticker, so I'll have to peel that off here. Let's see if I can do this. There it is. I'll take this off now. So I've scratched the other stuff up enough, and I want you to be able to see that clean LCD. So we're going to open it up here, turn it on. It says full battery on the left side. Like I said, no percentage indicator, but it does have the 4 segments to tell you, the full 75, 50, and so on. 2 of the regular USB charging ports, a Type-C power delivery port. I believe that's limited to 30 watts, but I'll show you how to check. And then we have the USB on this side with the blue. 2 separate barrel jack DC outputs, so you could go ahead and run some of your other DC to DC devices. That's the most efficient. If you do need to run household appliance type items, so they have on this side, if I hit the AC button, you'll see AC is now indicated on the front, and it now has 2 AC jacks. Now, this could be for your laptop. This could be for your specialty charger if you need. This could be for power tools like a drill or something if you needed that. Also, this one is one of the few that on the back has a light. I can tell you there's a Jackery that's almost twice the price of this thing. It doesn't come with a light. Also has the kind of the SOS mode. So again, for safety, if you put this out in your campsite, you can have a nice little light. The kids can charge up all their phones, and you can be cooking dinner or doing whatever it is that you're doing. And so this is from Bolibot. Like I said, this is about half price for the feature set that you normally get. I'll show you the specs on it real quick too. I'm gonna go through the different modes. There's the battery. The light is off. We're going to zoom in, and I'll get right down in there on the label, hopefully, and you guys can see this. So there's the label right there if you were looking at it. It does have the QC 3.0 charging up to 9 volts. So it's not going to do the QC 15 or higher, but it does have USB power delivery at 24 watts, and it's going to have 12 volts at 2 amps as the max side. So a lot of your really fancy Samsung Galaxies and whatnot are going to be able to take advantage of that, and you're going to do really well. Total capacity on this one is going to be in the 257 watt hour range. So that's 69,600. So this is about 12 times more than the emergency battery. So it has a lot more, as you can see. But the weight on this thing, I wish I could weigh it for you right now. I think it's actually shown on their Amazon page, so I'll check that. But the weight on this thing is just super minimal. Now, the one other thing about this one is it is going to charge at 27 watts. So it's not going to charge super fast when you're charging it. It's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take about 9 hours total to charge at 27 watts. But this one is designed, again, for that camping use, all those other kind of use cases, and it's great for emergencies. I am going to bring you over here to show you a video that I actually have from the last time I showed this on the show. I'm going to go back here to the right page this time. And we'll get that video playing here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is for emergencies. This is the fireplace in my house. So this winter, if you ever have a power outage, now my fireplace can't create heat to blow heat, but with this item, I was actually able to blow my blower and have it blow heat out into my living room. And this would last, that blower is only about 50 watts. This would last for about 5 hours to help that fireplace heat my house, which is really slick. So even in a complete power outage, this thing can run that. And so that was one of the many features that this thing has and capabilities. So this is from Bolibot. This is their 300 watt, I believe it's a 600 watt peak, a solar generator, or basically a power bank and inverter all in one. So I want to thank them for sending that out as a sponsored product. We're going on to the next product. This is another one I showed very recently, but again, on sale for the Christmas holiday. And this is a dash cam. You have to have a dash cam. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times. Dash cams are just becoming so critical for accidents. In my area, the police, they won't even show up to a non-injury accident nowadays. It's getting kind of sad. Let me show you what you get in this. Now, this one has been installed one time, so I have left the sticker on, but inside of it, you'll see this thing is incredibly light, super light. So this one right here is probably one of the lightest I've ever had. Because it is so light, now you can actually adhesively mount this to your windscreen with just this little static cling, and then you hook your 3M. So there's no more case of where maybe you're getting window tint installed, or you need to do a deep clean on your car, and this has been stuck on your windshield and you can't move it around. The nice thing is with the static cling, I can take it off and I can reposition it until I get it just right. So it sits on your windshield like so. So it gets at an angle. So if this is your windshield right here, you can adjust the angle. It has a 2.5K sensor on the V200. I've had the V100 on the show before, very similar. So 2.5K sensor, very simple push button. It does have a memory card slot here. Now, what's funny about this one, there's no screen, you'll see. So you're not going to be watching yourself. It also will hopefully make passengers feel a little more comfortable. They don't feel like they're being videotaped. It does have audio record capability that can be turned off. Inside of here, you're going to come with a very long cable. I believe this is over 10 feet cable. Now, a lot of people confuse this as just something to pry off the dash cam. This is actually an upholstery and molding tool. So if you want to tuck in the installation of this and make it look as cool as possible, I'll show you a trick on how to do that. You can use this orange tool that it comes with. It's going to come with an additional adhesive. So if you have to, for whatever reason, take that off, and it comes with an additional static cling. So if I move this from car to car for some reason, and it does wear out, I can do that. Comes with a full manual as well as a QR code to download their app. Now, I've shown you on a previous video how this product works, how easy it is to install. So if you go to the V200 page, my stuff's there. This is basically how you can route that cable. So you take it from your cigarette lighter, you route it around the molding, and that's what I've done it on almost all my cars, and then you plug it in right here on the side. Let's take a look at how it actually looks, because that's the devil's in the details, right? We want to make sure that we have a clean enough image here so that when we're actually driving down the road, and so we actually showed this last time on Black Friday it was. So I'm going to show you my installation pictures first. So you can barely see the thing. You see the white of the adhesive more than anything, but that's in our minivan. And that's installed right there. And that's what it looks like on the inside. So that's what I was telling you about, that adhesive, that, peel and stick. So you just peel it. It sticks on right over my window tint strip on our van. And this is the quality that you can expect from it. This is through the compression of the internet and all that stuff. But look at the bright, vibrant color, 2.5K resolution. And that super wide field of view shows you both sides of the intersection. That's super important. So if somebody was coming by here, maybe didn't stop on the red light, you can see we've got a green light here. So if somebody was turning maybe and then got in an accident, you would have the lights and all that. I can't get too much more detail just due to Amazon rules. I don't want to zoom into the cars, but I can tell you that 2.5K resolution, and I believe it's 30 frames a second, is very good. It does use your phone as the screen. So if you do want to preview it while you're in the car, you can do that. You can see and make sure it's recording. It has audio prompts, which is really good. Jeremy's asking for the night vision. You know what? That's the one clip I don't have on here, but it does actually do really well at night. I took this up, and on that show, I actually showed that. So maybe my editor will clip in here the night clip as well. I don't think I have that handy with me right now, but it actually does do really, really well. It works a lot better, obviously, with more light, but it gives you a clean view of exactly what you're seeing at night. So I can go to the Amazon page, which I will do here in just 1 second. Let me close out of this. And I'm going to go over to the Amazon page, and we'll take a look and see if they have maybe some sample footage there of what their night vision looks like. So here you go. This is a 160-degree field of view. It does have a G-Shock sensor, and it's a 1440p resolution, all the things I told you about here. Take a look and make sure I'm not missing anything in here. Come on, Amazon, catch up for me. There we go. So again, they keep the cost down on this, and the cost on this is just ridiculously low right now, but they keep the cost down by not putting a screen on it. So it's very simply a memory card device and a camera, high quality camera. And then, you can see here the f1.6 aperture. Does have that night. Now you can buy an extra. Now all of these use very similar, but you can buy a 24-hour kit and it'll go into time-lapse mode. Does have the loop recording, and there's a lot more controls when you get inside the app, and you'll be able to see those. I didn't see any samples, but let me take a look and see if they've included a sample. I don't want to play somebody else's video just for copyright reasons. Well, let's take a look and see. No, I don't see that in there. This is a standard unbox from somebody else. I'm just trying to see if they actually did include any of their footage at night. So I don't see that yet, but that's a great question. So it does work at night, but I will definitely look into that. Also, I see a chat message popping up that we probably want to share. Let me go back over to that. Oh, no. Oh, no. So Jeremy's sharing here. He says, I got into an accident a couple weeks ago in a parking lot. I could have swore no one was there. Pretty sure they didn't have their lights on. And it would have been nice to have a dash cam. Absolutely, Jeremy. Call me, man. I've got a couple of these kicking around. I would love to help you out. I know your situation. We'll get you one of these over there so you'll have a dash cam, Jeremy, so you don't have to deal with that. But this is from the Vement company. This is their V200 dash cam kit. It's going to have everything you need. Maybe you've got a teenage driver in the family. This could be a great stocking stuffer for a teen driver just to protect them, and that's the thing is when you're learning, everybody likes to blame the teen. If your teen is very responsible, this dash cam could actually maybe exonerate them when it comes to this, because again, everybody likes to blame the teenager in an accident. And if they are doing the right thing, but this is the V200 dash cam. This was from the Vement company. That's what it looks like. So fairly attractive packaging, super easy to install. I want to thank them for sending this out for a fair and honest review as we move to our next product here. This is where the nerdy stuff comes in. Unfortunately, I don't have the Hue I was going to bring in. We're going to have to do that next week. I did not get that unpacked and installed yet. But this one over here is going to be a cool project. Now I have this one, the double pack, and this one right here is the single. These are batteries, 12 volt, 10 amp hour, but they're lithium iron phosphate batteries. So where you're used to the regular old alarm batteries, I'm going to do a quick unbox here so you can see what I got going on. Where you're used to those, UPS or alarm batteries that weigh a ton, these things are super light. Now, they're not as light as true lithium batteries, but the lithium iron phosphate actually lasts a lot longer. So it has plenty more cycles. There's the covers for the terminals. I'm going to look here and make sure I got the terminal type on here. You got F1 or F2 terminals, and we'll see which ones those are. But there's the battery itself. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top down, and then we'll talk about why this unit specifically is so special. I went out and bought these, honestly. These I bought personally because I have a project I'm going to do right now with you. But the lithium iron phosphate, charge voltage, it would like to have 14.4, could go up to 14.6. Charge current is 2 to 5 amp max. Continuous discharge current is 10 amps. So it can draw the full, that's a 1C they call it. So it can have one full time of the capacity for 1 hour. So this one is 128 watt hours. The nice thing about lithium iron phosphate, not going to have a memory. It's going to be able to draw down to basically 0, and it's going to be able to recharge all the way back up. So awesome chemistry in these. Where I want to use this is actually in a UPS, and I'm going to pull that out here and show you my best deal on getting affordable UPSs. But the neat thing about this and why this technology is so important is not just the chemistry of the battery. It's right here. Inside this, if we were to take this apart, there's a circuit that comes in the top of the battery called a BMS. So it's a battery management system. And so what that's going to do is it's going to handle all the charging and the discharging. And it's a safety because lithium fires are no joke. But with a proper BMS, if you start to overcharge it or you're undercharging and doing all that, it's going to do the adjustment that it needs to give the right condition to the batteries. Now, there's also a 2 battery version of this. I tended to buy both. I bought the first one and I was like, man, the 2 battery pack is on sale. That's a great deal. So I'm going to grab one of these, but it's the exact same battery. It's just available in 2 combinations. If you're following me on Amazon, it is in the carousel over here somewhere. If you're on YouTube or any of the other services that has a description, you're going to see it in the description right now. But there's both the 2 and the single, and the price on these has come down a significant amount. It was actually, last I looked on this, it was $62.99 after coupon and all the savings. I can only tell you that live. I can't tell you that afterward. And there's a QR code even on this one that says scan with your camera for assistance. I'm going to pull these terminal covers off, and then I'm going to show you my cheapest way to get a UPS for your house. So there's both of these from Golden Mate. I just happened to go to one of those thrift stores the other day, and I got myself a 1500 VA UPS. And sure enough, when I turned it on, and I'm going to show you guys here on the side camera, so you're going to get to see, it'll turn on kind of. It's been charging for over an hour, and you can see it's like kind of dim. It's got 122 volts, and then it just kind of flickered and just went off. The things, and again, this is a long shot, could be, maybe not. It's already beeping, it's warning, it can't keep up. These things chew through batteries. This is a CyberPower 1500. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the batteries that are out in this. Now this thing is incredibly heavy. I'm going to swap out these super heavy batteries for these super dainty and light lithiums, and I'm going to have my first lithium UPS. Now, check for all the safety ratings on this. Use this at your own risk. Check with an electrician, all the consumer product safety, yada, yada. So I'm going to go ahead and look and see on this one. I can't remember on these if they come through the front. I do think they come through the front on this one, if I remember right. Let me go through here. We're going to open this up and we're going to see what kind of batteries we've got in this right now that are probably lead acid just by the weight. And we're going to see if we can swap them out. If I remember right. Yep, there we go. So that's how easy it is to open the front of these. I took one screw out, and there's the batteries. We're going to take a look at it. Get you over on a camera that can see better as to what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to take this cover off. Make sure it's unplugged when you're doing this, and that it's completely turned off. Now you can pull on these and help lean it to get these out. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the battery pack. We'll help lean it a little bit. There we go. So there is your combination of batteries. Now I tell you, this is incredibly heavy. These things are super duper heavy here. Now what they are inside, if you look at them, go to the top down. So these are just 2 basic 12 volt, 34 WPC, 15-minute non-spillable lead acid. Now they're going to have a sticker here, and I don't know if we're going to be able to reuse this. Nope, it looks like it's going to crack. That's holding these together, but let's see. I'd like to reuse as much as possible. Valve regulated lead acid. High rate, it says. Okay, so what's going to basically happen is we're going to replace the batteries that are in our UPS here with these two. Now, what else can you use these 12-volt batteries for? You can use them for gate controls. Maybe you've got a gate control. These will last 100 times longer, it feels, than the traditional lead acid do. I paid under $20 for this UPS that we got here that we're salvaging. Now, just be real careful when you see these terminals that you get the colors right. So I'm going to look for my tool. And these are a little bit hard. Don't ever cross the terminals. So you can work one at a time on these. Don't ever cross across two of them. And I'm going to push this one out. And don't mix the batteries. That's another good tip. So there's our battery terminals. That one's red. That was red. So we're going to take this and we're going to attach the terminals here on this one. I'm going to see if I can take it off of this as well. There we go. Just looking to see. I'll go ahead and do this in order. Starter for a generator was another great tip. Yeah, a lot of your generators are going to use this size of battery as a starting battery and then keep up. So the nice thing about having a BMS here that's built into this battery is it's going to handle the difference. So this UPS is not going to know the difference from these old chunky batteries to my new fancy lithium UPS batteries. But it doesn't matter because even though it's going to put out less voltage than they would ideally use, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. Again, make sure you're matching them up. Your UPS might be slightly different. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and recommendations. Go ahead and recycle these batteries safely when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this way, and they are lining up color-wise. So got that one. And got that one. There we go. And make sure those connectors are tight. You may even give them a little bit of a squeeze if you have a set of pliers. So that looks like what it was. Now I can take this piece here, this sticker that they had. I can hold my batteries back together in line and at least stick one side of the sticker back on, hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the surgery that's going on here. So should have been at that zoom the whole time, but let's do this. I'll go ahead and put this back on here. I'll put this one back on here. We're going to get ahead and reload this. Now this still has some weight to it because it's that deep down in there. It's going to have a transformer, and that transformer is what's creating the current. So I'm going to slide these batteries in, and I want the connector facing down. So I'm going to go ahead and slide them in like so. So now I'm going to breathe new life, hopefully, into this universal power supply. I'm going to connect the battery terminals up. There's battery terminal 1. Battery terminal 2, maybe a slight spark. There was a very small spark there. And making sure I've got this as flat as I can to get the terminals hidden. Okay. Now I'm going to slide this down here. And then I'm going to slide this back on. It's all about tight tolerances on this thing. So this is a great way to save a little bit of money, like I mentioned, when you're recovering a UPS. And I'm just making sure I've got these terminals ready. There we go. They're sticking out a little too proud of that. So bringing it back over here. You know what? I'm telling you, I've got those dead right on, and they are just fighting me. Because they have to fit right on that angle, don't they? There we go. That's all it was. Now I'll go ahead and put the final screw in here on the top. And then I think we're going to be in great shape now to turn this thing on and see if that was the only thing wrong with it. So we're going to go ahead and plug this back into electricity. Okay. Turning it on. Now it's going to do a battery self-test, the first thing, and there it goes. Battery self-test. Awesome. And I can already hear it charging. We can go through the display settings. 60, it's a little bit dim, the display, but that's because I got this thing from an old secondhand store. There's zero load on it, but it just passed the self-test and the batteries are ready to go. So that was the whole purpose of purchasing these batteries. Let's go take a look and see what they look like on the show page here. As I mentioned, they are available in two different styles here. So if I come down to the batteries, the Golden Mate here, this is the 2-pack that I've tagged, but they're available in both sides. And you can also get them individually. And they also do make a 20 amp version. So it's a lot heavier duty, but make sure, again, that may not fit your use case. But for here, they also have a 10% coupon. So like I said, they're coming in at about $62 right now on Amazon. And overall, pretty decent reviews, 4.6 on 92. They're one of the most current, newest ones that was recommended to me. And I will be testing them out in this UPS. You can never have, going into the winter, enough of these UPSs. So for $62 plus less than 20, I now have a 1500 UPS, which is a lot lighter now. I couldn't do this with the old one. And it's going to last longer. So this is more amp hours than those other batteries were capable of. It's going to recharge better because it's got that battery management system for these lithiums, and it should stay cooler all along. So this is in every way a better outcome. And so I've upgraded, not only refurbished this UPS for less than $100, but now I've upgraded as well. So that is from the Golden Mate company. Several different options for you for lithium iron phosphate batteries. If you never heard about these, they're going to be all the rage. So we're going to switch off to our next, second to last product here. You know, I should put this UPS here and use it all the time during the show because I draw so much amps. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I'll put something really big here and it will actually overload my other UPS because I have everything else running on it. So maybe that's an upgrade feature I can use here. So just make sure I got my second camera angle back to normal. Awesome. So what I'm going to pull up next on the show is actually the keyboard and mouse that I use. Keyboard and mouse could be a great gift for a nerd like myself, or somebody that's got multiple devices. Keyboards are very personal. I can tell you I've gone through many keyboards till I found this set. So this is from Logitech. This is the MK50 performance set. Now they're available at a variety of stores. They're available on Amazon, which is where I'm telling you to go get them. Amazon's got a great price on them. Available for Windows, Mac, Chrome OS. People are wondering what that is. That's for your Chromebooks with all the kids, iOS, and Android. So this one set of keyboard can actually run multiple devices. That's its claim to fame. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick unbox for you. Okay. So as we open it up, you're going to see everything that it has. It is very easy to configure and set up. I'm going to show you that real quick as well. Okay, and this is from Logitech. This is one of the many trusted brands out there when it comes to peripherals. Logitech has had a multitude of history here. Does look like it comes with Duracell batteries. Look at that. So you're buying the premium product. It does have a removable pull tab. So now that is enabled and ready to go. The way you can tell is it's going to flicker that little light. Now, sorry, my studio light's bright, but that's the one, and there's a 1 and a 2. Now, I'll show you what that is here in just a second. We're going to take the keyboard out. So keyboard comes out. It's well protected as well. Every once in a while, maybe this is a gift for yourself. Every once in a while, it's time to replace peripherals, right? And so I just want to encourage you that this might be your time to replace your peripherals here. So it's got a little battery switch on the side. This is the same one I use every day. It's got 2 different levels here. So 4-degree angle, it's going to be a little bit less aggressive. 8-degree angle, going to be super aggressive here. And what's a beauty about this is I showed you guys with my tablet the other day how you can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that around so you can see. I can take this one unifying receiver is what they call it from Logitech. I take this one little tiny device, and that's going to be for both my wireless keyboard and mouse. There's no other setup needed. I'm going to plug this into the show computer. I'm going to make sure that this is turned on. Got it. Now I've already seen number 1 is lit. Number 1 is also blinking here. And we are going to go over to my show laptop here. I'm going to bring up Notepad. And we are going to go to town. So here we go. We're on the show laptop. And this is my new keyboard. So I'm using this keyboard now. And I'll just bring it down and say the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back. Hard to type it at 8-degree angle. So I was typing there, I promise. So I can use that. And that is device 1 by default. Now, what's cool about this is you don't have to just stick to single devices, PCs and whatnot. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and open the show phone. And give me a second, because this is honestly brand new to me. I want to make sure I've got no notes in here that are going to get me in trouble. No notes. Okay. I'm going to show you how you can use this keyboard and mouse with a cell phone. Now you're going, well, why would I want to do that? Well, if you start to take your iPad places, sometimes I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to have a tablet with my phone or an iPad. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the tablet so you guys can see it on the side here. Let's see which one it is. That's number 4. And I'm on the Bluetooth setup screen. So that's what you're seeing here is the Bluetooth setup screen. I have a bunch of different devices that I've used. I got my TV that's showing up. All I have to do now is I'm going to hold down number 2 and it starts to blink. So when I hold down number 2 and it starts to blink, you'll see my keyboard 850 shows up. So now it's going to say, go ahead and type in 661485. That's for security on the keyboard. Now my keyboard is done. So my keyboard 850 is connected. Same thing now for the mouse. I'm going to tab it to number 2 and then I'm going to hold. And while number 2 is blinking, it should pop up here as an option on my phone. We'll have to see. I know it works on tablets. I don't know if the mouse will work on this or not. Let's see. Oh, it's not showing up yet. So maybe I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to turn it back on. Sometimes that trick works. It may just not be. There it is. The M to pair with that. Yes, pair allowed. Now the item just went solid. The light went solid on this. And I should be able to click around when we get into an app that supports it. I'm going to go ahead and go here and we're going to go over to notes and I say let's see if we've got this working right. Oh, maybe this one's not showing up on this. So, yep. I am not seeing. Oh, there it goes. It just took a while. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back. Now, this has got great tactile feedback if you're a typer, like people that really hated the Mac keyboards. So it's got tactile feedback on the keyboard. So far, we've used and set up 2 devices. It can do 2 devices on the mouse, but it can only do, only 2 on the mouse, but 3 on the keyboard. So if you got a Linux box and maybe you want to have the extra keyboard for Linux, you can do that because a lot of people do command line only on that. But there, I'll just show you what I was doing. So I was using this keyboard and you can see if I type a few keys, they show up on my phone there. So I'm literally typing on a full-size keyboard and it's coming out of my phone. So if you've ever said, oh man, I really wish I had a keyboard for this iPad or whatever, that works really well. And this again is from Logitech. So that could be another great gift. I'm going to go bring us back over here. I'm going to close my notepad. I'm not going to save my wonderful stuff. Now, as I've plugged this into the computer, it automatically offered to put the extra Logitech software, which lets you control a bunch of stuff. It does have the standard hotkeys for doing additional things like calculator, volume up and down, media keys, all of that's in there. It does work for Mac and PC, and it does have the Mac and PC keyboard labels on it. I need to point that out. So we're going to come back over here to the show page, and we're taking a look. This is the Logitech keyboard. Again, I'm not logged in for Prime. This one's saying it's going to come after Christmas, but every once in a while, it depends on the store and your location in the US. This one may come before Christmas. I know if you're shopping now, you're kind of late to the game, but we're almost there. We're also almost to the end of the show. Let me go show you one more thing here. This is our last product on the show, and it is another portable monitor. And you're like, John, why do you have 11 portable monitors? I tell you, I buy portable monitors. I get them sent to me for review, which is awesome. Thank you guys. This Logitech is one that I bought. This is a backup that I've bought for myself. I just wanted to share it with you. going to go ahead and put this off to the side, and we're going to open up this next product, which I actually did purchase myself specifically to test out on the show. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Bring you guys back into the show. And where did she go? Down here. So this is a 15-inch portable USB-C LCD screen from the UPerfect company. I'm going to show you this real quick. We're going to open it up. There's a lot of similarities between this and many of the other USB-C monitors that I've shown you in the past. There's one thing that this one has, and I'll show you why I bought it, because I'm very curious about a single use case. And UPerfect has done something that nobody else has done in this space, especially not in a USB-C monitor. So I had to check this one out. The fact that it was affordable at the same time was a huge bonus. So very similar to all the other ones I've shown you so far. It's going to have a very light sleeve here, just packaging. I'm going to take that off. It does have a built-in cover. And there are some uniquenesses about it, which I'll show you in just a second. So I can open this cover out. It has a screen protector here. And I realize is I don't have my MacBook down here. That's what I usually demo on, but I can demo on another thing. So this is from UPerfect. Now, as I set it off to the side, you'll see that it has the standard, backing plate here. There's going to be a data cable. This one's packaged really well. It's going to have your portable monitor user manual. Now, I'll have my data color out and we'll do all the validation of it. I just want to look at the specs real quick. See if they give us a summary spec page. They don't. So I don't know on this one. We'll have to look. Oh, there it is. Specifications. This says it's 300 nits brightness. It's full HD and a 1200:1 contrast ratio. We will test all of that and make sure that that's the case as well. It's going to have two cables here. It looks like you're having an HDMI. You have a display port to USB-A, and you have a USB Type-C to C. Now, my laptop over here that's running the show right now technically does have USB Type-C. It's a Lenovo. So I'm going to see if we can get this guy to power up. And then I'm going to show you two secret tricks that this laptop has up its sleeve. This monitor has up its sleeve as I connect it to the laptop here. So I'm going to bring the show page back up. I'm going to go ahead and slide over here without unplugging stuff. And I'm going to use my USB Type-C port. I'm going to go ahead and plug into this port. And we're going to see if this thing turns on right away. See if we can get power. There it is. Okay. I just hit the power button right when it turns on. Isn't that how it works? That's my luck. Okay. So I'm actually hearing myself because it has built-in speakers and my audio switched over to that. So I can see it already. It's not super bright. So let's go ahead and see if there's some brightness controls, and there is. So I can go up to brightness. And it's just the brightness was turned way down by default. So that's coming up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and switch you to the front view so you guys can see that. So there's the picture already, and that's from the show laptop. So that's usable, right? You guys could take and see that, and it's just as clear as all the other stuff in the studio. You can play an Xbox, a PlayStation on this. It's got all those capabilities, which is awesome. So it has both USB Type-C input mode. So I can show you here if I'm mirroring in my mirroring modes. That's what that one is. This is now an extension of a monitor, but you can send mirroring data to it as well. So it's got the USB Type-C. It also has an HDMI mode as well. So if I can bring you guys back to the side here, you can see that it has that full-size HDMI port. So this is going to work in the back of a car. This is going to work on a vacation. You could also toss a Fire Stick onto this, and it would be a portable media device, basically. So now I'm going to show you the two things. And the reason I bought this specific one, I want to see how to remove. Oh, it's magnetic. Awesome. So this comes off right off the back. Now, something that no other monitor has. You see those 4 dots? That's VESA mounting capability. So if you want the flexibility to mount this on a monitor arm and have it show anywhere, I want a multi-view. So that's a capability for video production. So I can see what my different cameras are showing. So I can put this behind this camera over here in my show, and I can have a multi-view, but I can put it on a monitor stand now. So a lot of these other ones, you only get the cover, which is great. And you can see magnetic attachment. If I can line it up better. So that's one thing from UPerfect. Now, if I want to take this, super easy to close up, and the cover and the stand becomes the cover. So you've got that, and it's got that durability. So that's one superpower this thing has. There's one other kind of crazy thing that it does, and I'll show you here if I can find. I don't know if I even have a pencil or a pen. I do. I have a Sharpie. This is the only monitor that I've seen that has this capability also. Check it out. Let's say I wanted to put this up here and I want to read it. The IO connections are on top. You could put any sort of pen through this hole in the corner and it'll stand itself up vertically. So what does that look like from up front? Look at that. It's got a little hole, and that's all in their marketing. So you put it through this little stylus and it holds it vertically. So what will that look like? So if I do that, now you can have to change windows around to be vertical, but that would mean that I could literally have one of my displays vertical alongside just using this very simple hole. You could use the hole for a variety of other mounting options too. So that was kind of a neat thing that they're offering. So that's from the UPerfect company. I bought this one myself. I wanted to use this in our church environment so that we could have something to preview cameras and stuff with, and needed that Visa mount capability. So you could pick up any sort of Visa mount. I actually have one down there. I have one holding my camera over there, but a Visa 4-screw mount would fit on the back of this, and then that would allow you infinite flexibility to move this around. So that is from UPerfect. I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat, and Jeremy says he uses Phone Link with his phone in Windows 11. So good to hear on that one. So for the wireless display crowd there. Or USB-C. I think even some Androids can do some neat stuff with USB-C. So you can use this with your Android device as well. So that's been the show for today, guys. I really do appreciate you guys coming in, checking out the show. I am going to go have a Merry Christmas this weekend. If you're following me on Twitter, I'm going to be posting tomorrow a link to a Christmas program that we're doing, a choir. So you'll be able to watch that if you're looking for something interesting to do, about 7 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. If you are just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. I just completed my show here, show number 19. I will be back next week. We're working the logistics out on this show. I have a very interesting mini PC coming for next week. And I've talked to a couple other YouTubers that you know, and we're thinking of doing an end of the show, end of the year show for you guys like we do every year. Maybe I'll throw some prizes in there. Let me know. But thank you guys all for tuning in. This has been John the Net Guy. I will see you guys all in the next one. And have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. He is the reason for the season, so don't forget that. I will talk to you guys all later. See you in the next one.